I'ma step clean with this hot jalapeno pepper. Said something that be hot enough, I can put it on, but I
Here's how the Bulldogs will line up defensively. In left field, number 10, Mason Goodell. Center field, number 6, Colt Miller. In right field, number 44, Cash Durkin. Third base, number 30, Drake Sprintle. Shortstop, number 3, Chase Bourgeois. Second base, number 48, Cooper Jen. Starting as DH, number 27, Drew Burnett. First base, number 24, Adam Peavey. Catcher, number 36, Chance Green. And on the mound today for the Bulldogs, number 29, Nolan McMurry. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we now ask if able to please rise and remove your caps to honor America for playing our national anthem.
Welcome on the field today for the Bulldogs game against McMurry. Currently, our Bulldogs have a record of 3-8 in conference, and McMurry with 14-7. This game is a super important game for both teams because conference tournament for the SCAC could be on the line. So good luck today, boys, and let's play some ball game. Now back to you, Chris.
And thank you, Monica. And, always exciting to be back here at the beautiful Cot Isbell. The Bulldogs today taking on McMurray. And, this is an important one by all measures, Bulldogs and the Warhawks here, really fighting to get in that fourth place spot. Looking at the numbers, Trinity sitting in first with a record of 18-3, Concordia in second with 16-5, St. Thomas in third with a record of 14-6, McMurray in fourth at 14-7, and TLU in fifth at 13-8. So, the difference right now between second, third, fourth, fifth, is really only about 3 games. So the big thing for the Bulldogs is finding a way to win 2. But hang around, stick with us, and we'll have the lineup shortly after the pledge.
more than dream of a better world. Make it happen with a TLU degree. Texas Lutheran University provides one-on-one opportunities for students to build their college resumes. As freshmen and sophomores, our students are already performing research with a professor, presenting at conferences, and building their portfolios to apply for graduate schools and professional health programs. The world needs you. Answer your calling. TLU. Learn boldly. Live to inspire. Learn more at tlu.edu.
And welcome in, everybody. This is Chris Jones. Again, if you're back with us after the break, thank you for being here. And we're going to go ahead and start. We're going to introduce both lineups here and, get this thing underway. So coming in, the McMurry Warhawks, 22-8, 14-7 in the SCAC receiving votes. They're coached by Josh Lee in his third season. Assistant coach Boardman Adams, assistant coach Zach Gingrich, assistant coach Dirk Salzgaber, and assistant coach Mike Gonzalez. So meeting your starters for the Warhawks, number 2, Coy Carpenter, center fielder. Number 3, Ty Nelson, second baseman. Number 8, Riley Hood, third baseman. Number 23, Colin Brunning, first baseman. Number 24, Michael Smosna, catcher. Number 34, Nolan Schrenzel, designated hitter. Number 15, Josh Mueller, right fielder. Number 10, Blake Beach, shortstop. And number 1, Xavier Escobar, left field. And on the mound for the Warhawks is number 6, Jonathan Enriquez. Now over to your Bulldogs. The Bulldogs coming into the day are 20-10, 13-8 in the SCAC. Of course, coached by Kyle Palmer in his second season, assisted by Colton Parrish, Jake Robles, and Noah San Miguel. And your lineup for the Bulldogs, in at the one-hole, number 10, Mason Godot, left fielder. At shortstop, number 3, Chase Bourgeois. In right field is Cash Durkin, number 44. First baseman, number 24, Adam Peavey. Number 27, Drew Burnett at designated hitter. Number 30, Braden Sprinsel at third base. Number 6, Cam Miller in center field. Number 36, Chance Green behind the plate. And number 48, Cooper Ginn over at second base. And on the mound for the Bulldogs today is McInvale. And so now I guess we'll get things going. McInvale with 2 balls here early. And, facing off a good hitting team in McMurray, looking through the stats, I want to say 7 out of their 9 starters are above 300. So they're hitting the ball really well. High-powered offense, a lot like the Bulldogs. So going to be a battle here from start to finish. Nice pitch there from McInvale. Going to go ahead and even up the count at 2-2. Little chopped ground ball over to Cooper Ginn. Going to go ahead and connect with Peavey for out 1. And what you like to see if you're the Bulldogs, nice pitch there from McInvale. And, kind of chopping ground ball over to second base, routine play for the Bulldogs. And that was Coy Carpenter, but he couldn't run it out. Now coming up for the Warhawks is number 3, Ty Nelson. Low in the zone there for ball 1. Ty Nelson coming out of Scottsdale, Arizona in Paradise Valley Community College, so long way from Abilene for him. Good pitch there from McInvale, low in the zone. McInvale, big left-handed pitcher for the Bulldogs, and had a good numbers on the year. On the year, his ERA is currently 5.70, so a little bit high, but, a pretty calming force for the Bulldogs. Now he's got the count to 1-2 to Nelson. Going outside and strike 3 swinging, so that's going to be first strikeout of the day for McInvale. Now up for the Warhawks is number 8, Riley Hood, the third baseman. Nolan McInvale outside of the zone for strike one. Riley Hood coming to the Warhawks as a junior, transferred from Lubbock Christian, originally from Abilene, Texas. McInvale tries to go inside, but that's going to be ball 2. You know, fans, as we go through this one, you know, this is a war right here for seeding, and, you know, this is pretty much it, you know. You got to find a way to win 2 here. You know, we're going to be, as it comes down to the wire, you know, fighting with McMurray for that last spot in the conference tournament. You know, all of us behind Trinity at 18-3, Concordia at 16-5, and St. Thomas at 14-6. 2-1 now. Little changeup going to get him to bite, so 2-2 now to McInvale. Tries to go for that outside corner, but a little bit high and outside. Good stop there from Chance Green. Full count now here with 2 down. Fastball down the middle, that's tipped off. And the count will stay at full. You know, looking at the McMurray stats, Riley Hood, you know, batting an impressive .385, so big time bat for the Warhawks, and you know that's why he's in the 3-hole. McInvale looking to get it going here for the Bulldogs early. Fastball a little bit low, and now Riley Hood will take his base. Now up for the Warhawks is number 23, Colin Brunning. Brunning from Abilene, Texas, Wiley High School. A local product for the Warhawks. Coming in, little fastball. He's going to take a cup. That is deep into center field. And routine play there for Cam Miller. So the Bulldogs going to hold him here in the first. And please stay with us after the change.
At Texas Lutheran University, we believe a better world is possible, and it all starts with you. For more than a century, we've been preparing students just like you to follow their dreams and embrace their potential. With small class sizes to facilitate relationship building and affordable tuition, we're committed to you. Because at TLU, you're not just a student, you're part of a community. TLU. Learn boldly, live to inspire. Learn more at tlu.edu.
Leading off for the Bulldogs, number 10, Mason Cano.
And welcome back, folks. And you know, the Warhawks looking to get it going here early. And, you know, we're seeing, you know, a big Jonathan Enriquez on the mound, a 6-foot senior out of Galveston, Texas, Galveston Ball High School. And one thing, fans, you'll notice with Enriquez is his, kind of, everybody talks about their, wide vertical on your pitch, but Enriquez, maybe not as up and down, but he's very going to move the ball across the plate and side to side on his pitch. You'll notice his motion kind of wider, and he brings the ball back across the plate with some spin. And Mason Godot going to take a good cut, but that one right into center field. Will pop up there. So pretty routine play out there for Coy Carpenter. And coming into the game, Jonathan Enriquez with the 5.4 earned runs allowed. So, pretty similar, honestly, to McInvale. So, going to have a war here on the plate mound today. And now up for the Bulldogs is Chase Bourgeois. Bourgeois has had a pretty hot bat for the Bulldogs as well. As of right now, he's batting a .339. But 2 quick swings there, going to put him at 0-2. He's got to be a little defensive. And Enriquez tries to go for that inside corner there. Can't quite get it. So 1-2 count now to Enriquez. Outside corner, can't quite find it, so now 2-2. Good job by Bourgeois to hang in there and even up the count here. Inside, and that's going to go ahead and hit Chase Bourgeois, so he's going to take his base. Little dead ball there. Just barely kind of grazed him on the shoulder, and, definitely can get hit by a pitch worse. Now coming up for the Bulldogs is Cash Durkin, one of the Bulldogs' best bats. Coming into the day, he's 8 home runs on the season. The Bulldogs looking to get it going here early in the first. Fans, if you've watched, and kept up, maybe not with all of them, but, most of them, you'll kind of see that trend of the Bulldogs just having monster innings. The Bulldogs looking to do that right away here first and to set the tone in this series, A long 2 days of baseball and, such a crucial, important series. So the Bulldogs, going to really try and get it going here early in game one. Enriquez a little bit high there. So now 3-0 count to Cash Durkin. Umpire turned to talk to Coach Palmer. I guess he's getting on the dugout. And, I find that a little bit ridiculous in the bottom of the first. You got more important things to worry about if you're an umpire. Enriquez is going to find the outside middle of the zone. .3-1 now to Cash Durkin. A little bit high and outside, so he'll take his base. Now coming up for the Bulldogs, number 24, Adam Peavey. We always like to talk about his Peavey power, so looking to really get it going here. Another great bat for the Bulldogs. Spent some time as a DH, spends a lot of time at first base, so. And now with 2 runners on, going to look to get it going here. Enriquez. And again, that ball just really rotating and moving across the plate, but that one low and outside. That one down the middle, but a bit high, so 2-0 now to Adam Peavey. And Peavey going to chop it. That one flies up over to first base, and he's going to make the play. And a tough break there from Peavey. We know he can swing the bat and, got a decent look at it, but just couldn't quite get all the way through that one, and he skied it, for a routine play. Unfortunate when you're up 2-0, but, a chance you have to live with if you're the Bulldogs. That's going to go ahead and bring up Drew Burnett, number 27, the Bulldogs' designated hitter. Burnett batting .250 on the year. Very solid for the Bulldogs. But, definitely think he's capable of more, and he's always looking to prove it. Great hitter for the Bulldogs and looking to get it going today. Good cut at that one, but that's going to fly and pop up into center field. Underneath it is Coy Carpenter to make the play for the Warhawks. So we'll stay tied at 0 here at the end of the first.
I chose TLU because I like the one-on-one that I get with my professors.
Being able to talk to all the professors one-on-one, they're definitely helpful in deciding what I can do with my degree and then how to get into those different fields.
I liked the tour of the campus. I liked seeing how everything was really close together. Our classes now from first year and second year are all in the lab, so we have our own space that we can go to for studying.
Well, I chose TLU because I had met some people who were in the program and they told me some good things about it. It's a smaller school, so I feel like I was going to get more of that one-on-one type of learning.
I get to, be more hands-on with patients and more engaged with my preceptors and my professors and my classmates as well.
And welcome back, everybody. Up to the plate now for the Warhawks is Michael Smosna. He's going to eat a strike there for his first pitch. In case you didn't know, Smosna, one of the very best bats for the Warhawks, batting at a really impressive .459 on the year. He's going to look to get it going. That ball fouled way off into right field. That's going to be strike 2. The Bulldog faithful out here in good numbers today. Probably a good 85 degrees now, but earlier in the day it was probably right around 90. Just a little bit of wind here, fouled off into right field again, so our count will stay 1-2. And Nolan McInvale making him work here early. This is one of the best hitters in the whole conference. He's sitting at a nice 6'3" frame, so. And good cut there, and that almost got down, but Mason Godot flies over and makes the play there. Or excuse me, yeah, it's quite far, but we'll get a look at the replay there. And Godot unhitched the trailer and ran over and secured that one. I wasn't quite sure there. And what a play there for Mason Godot. I thought that was going to drop and probably be a single there. And now the umpire, again, going over to the TLU dugout. Now Palmer going to have a word. And, I just don't understand what it's about. Maybe go talk to the Warhawk dugout too, this is an important game. People like to talk, and that's a part of sports. So I would appreciate it if he would stay a little more focused behind the plate there. But anyhow, Now up for the Warhawks is number 34, Nolan Schrinzel, out of Arlington, Texas. Now playing the designated hitter spot for the Warhawks. And watch that one for ball one. Now Nolan Schrinzel looking to deliver. A little bit outside. Chance Green trying to frame it in, but not quite. So 2-0 now to Schrinzel. And that is a really good spot again there from Nolan McInvale, but the blue not going to give. Fastball down the right side there. That's going to be strike one. So McInvale trying to hang in this at bat. That was pretty quick there. That ball fouled off, and that'll be strike two. So now a full count. McInvale's battled back here. Pitch down the middle, but a little bit inside there. So Nolan Schrinzel is going to take his base. Now up for the Warhawks is number 15, Josh Mueller, right fielder. Fouled back for strike one. Good little fastball there from McInvale. Going a bit outside there. Good stop by Chance Green. So 1-1 now. Inside, and that's going to be a strike from Schrinzel, or excuse me, McInvale. So now 1-2. You know, Mueller there looked a little bit confused, but his elbow's over sticking onto the plate. Can't be mad when that one's called a strike. Quick check there at first base, but pretty routine. Now Nolan McInvale looking to find strike three here for a second strikeout of the day. That ball over to third. Look, Bulldogs looking to turn. Can't quite come up with the double play. Good stop there over at third base from Braden Schrinzel. Ball kind of took a bad bounce, but he got it down. Looked over to third, and Cooper Jen trying to turn, but couldn't quite get it over to first base in time. Now Blake Beach up for the Warhawks. Bulldogs looking to try and get a tag down, but can't quite. Josh Mueller had quite a big lead off there at first base. Chance Green with an okay throw, but Peavey got a little bit off his line there to pick it up. McInvale right down the middle, fastball for strike one. One count, two down. Another fastball. This time to the outside. That fouled way off. 1-2 count now. Fouled off again as the pitch clock was about to expire there. 1-2 still. Josh Mueller, senior out of Stamford, Texas. Little 2A up there. Gonna take a check just to let his arm cool down, but gonna look to get it going here. That a little bit low in the zone there, so 2-2. Gonna take another check over to first. And big moment here for McInvale. Going to look to shut this inning down here. Another check over at first here. And trying to ice out Blake Beach at the plate. Outside, looking to take a check on first there, but Mueller going to get back in time. Full count now. Fastball down the middle, that's going to pop up. Oh, and just barely over. Almost caught a fan on the backside of her head there, but luckily it didn't catch anybody. That would have been not such a fun thing to wake up with in the morning. Little concussion there. Good heads up by the fans there. Full count again, so this has quickly turned into an 8-9-10 pitch at bat here for Blake Beach. Sprinsel, taking his time, looking to get this one here. Delivers, fouled off again. So Blake Beach hanging in there. And Nolan McInvale not going to give an inch. That one a bit outside there. Tough break for McInvale. Really fought there with Blake Beach, but ultimately going to give up the walk. So now in the 9 hole for the Warhawks is number 1, Xavier Escobar. Senior out of Buda, Texas, Buda Hayes High School. So not too far here from Seguin. Warhawks with the runner on second and first. 2 down here, and Nolan McInvale going to look to close things. And fastball down the middle, out to Cam Miller, and he's going to get underneath it and make the play. So a little fly out there for Xavier Escobar, and the Bulldogs going to get themselves out of a bind. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
As an MAT student, you are an athletic trainer, and I think that's something really cool that we get to experience.
We're pretty hands-on. Anything that our preceptor asks us to do,
we're able to do, going out to practices and traveling to games.
We're doing evals, looking at them, helping them with their rehab protocols.
For me personally, I do a lot of hands-on where I'm speaking with the patients about how they feel, and so I feel like it's a lot of one-on-one interactions.
Knowing that I'm going to go into the clinic every day and I don't know who's going to walk through the door and what their problem's going to be, and that I get to be the one that tells them hey, this is what's wrong, but I can also help you, so here's a solution.
And welcome back, everybody. Bottom of the second here, and up for the Bulldogs, number 30, Braden Sprinsel, the third baseman. Another hot bat for the Bulldogs, and, come up big for them quite a bit here so far in this season. And looking to get things going. Escobar with another quick 2 balls. Enriquez, not Escobar. As we discussed in the first, Enriquez with that wide release point. So, going to be interesting to see how the Bulldogs battle, a little bit of more non-traditional pitcher. And 3-0 count there, and Braden Sprinsel going to eat strike 1. Now 3-1 count. And ball 4, that one a little bit high on the fastball, so Braden Sprinsel will take his base. That is going to bring up Cam Miller now for the Bulldogs, the center fielder. Sitting in that 7 hole for the Bulldogs. And had a big walk-off single not too long ago in the series with Southwestern. Or excuse me, that was not Cam Miller, but did have some big moments in that series, and kind of earned his way into that center field position here late in the season. So exciting to see what he can do. 2-0 count now to Cam Miller. Enriquez looking, and that ball through at third base, so a single for Cam Miller again. And that one pretty quick off the bat. We don't have super deep analytical stats, but that one just right back at the infield. And now Bulldogs with their first hit of the day. Now up to bat for the Bulldogs, number 36, Chance Green. And he's going to lay down a bunt. That's going to go foul. And not great execution right there from Chance Green, but, like the show there, when you're ahead 2 balls, 1 strike, or excuse me, to go there early. Don't hate it. Chance Green going to jog it back. Almost good there, but just spun out. Oh, 1 count now to Green. And get a good look at that one as it comes across the plate. So now 0-2 to Chance Green. That one a bit outside there for Enriquez, so 1-2. Outside again there from Enriquez. So 2-2. Outside again, so full count here. Enriquez not able to find that outside corner that he was chasing there. And now a chance for the Bulldogs to load the bases. And right through the second base shortstop gap, that is going to be another hit single for the Bulldogs, and a great effort there from Chance Green to find a way to get a hit there on the full count. Now the Bulldogs, no outs, bases loaded, and putting some pressure on the Warhawks. And Coach Josh Lee going to go have a word, and we will be right back.
Back number 28, Cooper King.
So Enriquez going to hang in there, but we believe David Perez out there warming up. And Cooper Jen right up the middle again. And the Warhawks can't quite get a glove on that one. And another single going to bring home Braden Sprintzel. So the Bulldogs going to get on the board here early in the bottom of the second. And great effort there from the Warhawks, but just couldn't quite corral that one. So a hit single for Cooper Jen. Now bringing up Mason Godot. And you know right here, no outs, so looking to get on the board. And he's going to chop it up the middle. Little touch, and Warhawks going to go ahead and turn two. But Cam Miller's going to find his way across. And a big double play there from the Warhawks, you know, to slow the Bulldogs' momentum a little bit. But a little sack ground ball from Mason Godot going to bring home Cam Miller. So the Bulldogs now leading 2-0. A good cut there from Chase Bourgeois. And Chance Green in scoring position over there. (0-1) now. Enriquez looking to get it going. Probably a little bit frustrated. But 1-1 count. Oh, and Enriquez goes inside, and Chase Bourgeois a little bit antsy there. Seen the success, you know, the last three at-bats had a ground ball. Ended up being a single minus Godot. It's now 1-2 count. Bourgeois going to get a good cut in. And that is just shy of the foul line there. So deep foul ball into right field there. And Chase Bourgeois going to look to battle here at the plate. 1-2 count. Enriquez looking to get out of this inning here. The Bulldogs looking to bring Chance Green across. And a bit low there, so 2-2 count now. Fastball a little bit low. And now full count here to Chase Bourgeois. Inside, and Chase Bourgeois going to go ahead and take his base. And that's going to bring up Bulldogs Cash Durkin, the smooth operator, and got some room to work here. Got corners painted and looking to get it going here to drive in runs 3 and 4 for the Bulldogs. Gets a good piece of that one, flies it up over into left field, and the Warhawks able to make a play there. So Bulldogs take a lead in the bottom of the second, 2-0, and we'll be right back. Hang with us.
I chose TLU because I like the one-on-one that I get with my professors.
Being able to talk to all the professors one-on-one, they were definitely helpful in deciding like what I can do with my degree and then how to get into those different fields.
I liked the tour of the campus. Like I liked seeing how everything was really close together. Our classes now from like first year and second year are all in the lab, so we have our own like space that we can go to for studying.
Well, I chose TLU because I had met some people who were in the program and they told me some good things about it. It's a smaller school, so I feel like I was going to get more of that one-on-one type of learning.
I get to, be more hands-on with patients and more engaged with my preceptors and my professors and my classmates as well.
And welcome back. Top of the third here, and McMurry going to go ahead and turn over the lineup. So Coy Carpenter back up to bat for the second time now. Fastball down the middle. Strike one there for Nolan McInvale. So Bulldogs looking to get it going, and that ball hit deep. And Cam Miller all the way into the warning track to make the play on that one. Went a little bit quiet there because I wasn't sure, but what a play from Cam Miller. And the Bulldog outfield been super active here early. And that was a pretty good rip there from Coy Carpenter, Winds maybe blowing behind the ball. That might have found its way over the wall, so good stop from the Bulldogs to earn out number one. Back up for the Warhawks is number 3, Ty Nelson, second baseman. Going into the day, Nelson batting .364 with a quick 2 strikes from him. And, I'm almost surprised a little bit with how aggressive McMurray's been at the plate. Usually when the Bulldogs play, they're far more aggressive in the box. But, not been that way today. And, the McMurray Warhawks have been really active in the box there. And the Bulldogs maybe been a little more patient. And that ball trying to find the outside there. Umpire going to turn to first base, but he's going to say outside. 2-2 count now to McInvale. McInville inside. A little bit low for ball 3. So full count here for Nolan McInville. That one, little ground ball, fouled off into left field there. McInville a little bit high, so Ty Nelson will be walked. Up for the Warhawks, number 8, Riley Hood, the third baseman. Little bit high there from Nolan McInville. So 1-0 count here. Changeup going to find the outside of the zone there. So 1-1. Great pitch from McInville. And you know, moral of the story so far here, you know, it's been a battle, and you know, this game means so much to both programs and both players and both teams. So huge matchup here caught Isbell today. For those of you who can, join us again tomorrow for games 2 and 3. Also tomorrow we'll have softball game 1 against Schreiner. And foul ball deep into right field, and underneath it to make the play is Cash Durkin. So now another fly out for the Warhawks to make it 2 down. Bringing up number 23, Colin Brunning, first baseman for the Warhawks. You know, Brunning don't have a height measurement, but he looks to be about 6'3" or so. So big frame up in the plate. And McInville is starting to hum a little bit. So strike one there, you know, found that outside corner again. Looking to find it again, can't quite. So 1-1 now. Down the middle. Gonna foul that one off. So 1-2 count now to Colin Brunning. Gonna take a check over at first. Sprentzel fastball fouled way up, and that's over into left field. Mason Godot going to get underneath that one and take care of it. So 3 flyouts here for the Warhawks, and the Bulldogs going to hold Warhawks to 0. So Bulldogs still leading 2-0. Please stay with us. And welcome back, everyone. Now Peavey in the box for the Bulldogs. So 1-0 count now. Peavey, little ground ball over to first, and it's fair. Air from the Warhawks, and Peavey going to go ahead and turn the corner. So what should have been a pretty routine single there, going to go ahead and be a double. You know, and Adam Peavey, you know, not known for his speed, but got around pretty quick, had his head on a swivel right there, and, you know, quickly turned the corner there. The little change on the mound for the Warhawks. So coming in for Enriquez is number 35, I believe. Can't quite get a good look at the number. Little ground ball from Drew Burnett. That's going to bring Adam Peavey into third. So a little sacrifice hit there. A good little cut from Drew Burnett right there to advance Peavey. So one down. That's going to bring up Braden Sprinsel. So up for the Warhawks is number 35, David Perez, out of Bay City, Texas, Bay City High School. And Sprinsel going to eat a strike there. Sprinsel going to foul that one off, and count will stay at 0-2. So, you know, David Perez, you know, seen a little bit more action than some of the other guys, but one of the McMurry aces. You know, his ERA is really good at 1.42 on the year. You know, for a team that has as many high-scoring games as they do, that's quite impressive. So, looking to kind of catch up here and stop the Bulldogs, in a little foul there. Kind of showed bunt there, had the second baseman off his line, and that ball just going to pop over. Didn't even really finish his swing there, but Braden Sprinsel going to bring home Adam Peavey, so the Bulldogs going to take a 3-0 lead. And we will have a replay for you. You can take a look there, and just gets a piece of it. Doesn't extend and finish his swing, and right into that gap there. So, single there from Sprinsel. Now Cam Miller looking to get back in the action. Had that single up last time, so going to get it going here. 0-2 count now. And that one a bit late, but almost stays fair. But just barely not given. Great cut from Cam Miller, and, you know, that might have been enough time for, you know, Braden Sprinsel to look to get around. Good cut there from Cam Miller. So 0-2, the count will stay. Cam Miller going to hit it again. That deep into the warning track and off the fence. He's going to go ahead and take second. And Braden Sprinsel going to advance to third. So a double there from Cam Miller. And what a day he's having. Now having a single and a double. And the Bulldogs looking to keep it going here in the bottom of the third. Bringing up Chance Green, who also had a single last time out. So now Chance Green. Some room, a little bit outside there from David Perez. Perez fastball, good cut there from Chance Green, but that going to get by for strike one. Going to show bunt, pulls back, pitch a little bit low there. So 2-1 now. And Chance Green looking to find any way to get ahead or get on base here. Down the middle, that fouled off back behind the plate. So 2-2 count. A big at bat here for Perez. You know, kind of inherited a bad situation. Enriquez didn't have his best day, but looking to kind of keep things in line for the Warhawks. And big swing there from Chance Green, a little bit high and reach for it. So going to go out swinging. That'll be the second. So now Cooper Ginn back up to the plate. You know, the 9-hole today, looking to turn the lineup over here for the Bulldogs. Was successful last time, so looking to keep it going here. You know, Bulldogs have runners in scoring position and, you know, trying to find a way to get Bulldog runners across the plate and extend the lead here. Jen watches that one a little bit outside. Fouled off, so way back, 1-1 count. One-two count now to Jen. Gonna connect. That ball deep. Pops up, but center field gonna go ahead and be able to make the play. So that'll do it here in the bottom of the third. Bulldogs add on a run. So now taking a 3-0 lead, TLU. And we'll be right back with the top of the fourth here.
More than dream of a better world. Make it happen with a TLU degree. Texas Lutheran University provides one-on-one opportunities for students to build their college resumes. As freshmen and sophomores, our students are already performing research with a professor, presenting at conferences, and building their portfolios to apply for graduate schools and professional health programs. The world needs you. Answer your calling. TLU. Learn boldly. Live to inspire. Learn more at tlu.edu.
Leading off for the Warhawks, number 24 is Michael Swanson.
And welcome back, everybody. Now the Bulldogs looking to get it going here, and McInvale going to connect with strike one. In the box for the Warhawks is Michael Smosna. That one fouled off, so a quick 0-2 count here. Smosna. Chance Green fastball, a little bit low. Excuse me. Nolan McInvale all over the place today. Little change up there, and that's going to be strike three. And Michael Smosna going to watch that one all the way back to the dugout. We'll get a little replay on that. Just a little change up, and that just barely drops in there. A little bit inside, and what a great pitch there from McInvale. You know, we've seen him be, you know, really right today, so he's doing a great job. And you're going to keep humming here at the top of the fourth. A little bit high there, and trying to go with some pace right now. Up to bat for the Warhawks, number 34, Nolan Schrenzel, not to be confused with Braden Sprinsel from the Bulldogs. Similar last names. Schrenzel, the Warhawks DH. Gonna watch that one on the outside, so strike one. And nice fastball down the middle, and that is right into center field. And underneath it, who else but Cam Miller to make the play. So the Bulldogs defense absolutely humming so far here early. And, you know, McMurry hadn't eased up at all on the plate. That's going to bring up number 15, Josh Mueller. And that one fouled up again. Cooper Ginn moving over to get underneath it. And that is going to do it. So the Bulldogs, quick 3 up and 3 down. And stay with us.
At Texas Lutheran University, we believe a better world is possible, and it all starts with you. For more than a century, we've been preparing students just like you to follow their dreams and embrace their potential. With small class sizes to facilitate relationship building and affordable tuition, we're committed to you. Because at TLU, you're not just a student, you're part of a community. TLU. Learn boldly, live to inspire. Learn more at tlu.edu.
Leading off the Bulldogs, number 10, Mason Gano.
And welcome back, everybody. Bulldogs turning it over. Mason Godot going to lay down a bunt, going to run it through, and another error from the Warhawks. And the third baseman there, Colin Brunning, just trying to go for it with one hand instead of, maybe taking two down there and being secure. And, credit to him, Godot's pretty fast, so applying some pressure, but quick hit there for the Bulldogs to open up the bottom of the fourth. Now Chase Bourgeois back up to bat. Good cut from Bourgeois, fouled off into right field, and heads up out there. Some fans sitting out kind of on the lawn over there. It's 0-1 count now. And you can see the Bulldog faithful out there. And good cut from Chase Bourgeois. That's going to stay fair. Coach Palmer saying, let's go. And Mason Godot taking off. And he's going to find a way to score. So Chase Bourgeois double and an RBI. Mason Godot going to come across the home plate. And that's going to extend the Bulldogs' lead to 4-0 now. And the Bulldogs firing on all fronts today. Big time double there from Chase Bourgeois, who'd been a little quiet for him today, but getting it done here. And that is going to bring up number 44. Always fun when you hear that Sade play, and, been big here for the Bulldogs today. So Cash Durkin looking to get it going and keep it going. And Perez a little bit high on the fastball. Outside there. (2-0) now. Fastball down the middle. Durkin gonna foul that one way off. Now 2-1. So, a little bit of action around the league. TLU playing, or Trinity playing Centenary tonight. And it looks like they're just kind of getting started there, bottom of the first. Tied up at 0. Southwestern got Austin College tonight, and Austin College up the bottom of the fourth. And Cash Durkin just over the second baseman. Coach Palmer sending him around. Oh, and safe. And wow, I thought for sure Chase Bourgeois was going to be out right there. Hesitated a little bit at third base, but got around, and that single there from Cash Durkin just over the second baseman couldn't have been in a better spot. And so we'll definitely get a look at that replay there. And this is a home broadcast, so I'm going to say he's safe no matter what. But, if I was Coach Josh Lee, I might have come out of the dugout and talked about that one. Looked like maybe he kind of tripped up with his glove, but at the same time, he was sliding through, as he stuck his hand out, so I'm not too sure. And Peavey going to look and continue on the action. And it is turned into a Bulldog party here pretty quickly. And another hit for the Bulldogs, so that has pushed the Bulldogs up to 9 hits. In first pitch, and good cut there from Peavey. Now that's going to bring up Drew Burnett. And Burnett, left-handed batter, really good at placing baseball, into right field, and Bulldogs looking to get it going here. And Michael Smosna going to go have a word with David Perez, try and get his pitcher back on track, trying to keep this one from getting ugly here. But, the Bulldogs can never get too comfortable, and this is a good McMurry team. They score a lot of runs, so they're not going to be put away quietly. Bulldogs still yet to have an out here, and halfway through the lineup already. And, of course, they started right at the top. Godot went up first, and Cooper Jen had that double that brought him in. And Perez going to find the outside of the zone there. So 0-1 now for Drew Burnett. Little reset of the pitch clock and look to go. Fastball fouled off there by Burnett, so 0-2 now. And change up, and Burnett going to go down swinging. Perez, first strikeout of the inning here. Not a bad look for Burnett, but obviously not what he's looking to come up with. That's going to bring up Braden Sprinsel now. So the Bulldogs still just the one out. And good cut, but that is going to be right at first base. And the Warhawks look to try and turn too, but not quite. So little sacrifice hit there. And first baseman, I thought maybe he could have run and tried to get his own bag and look to go too, but not quite. So Bulldogs painting the corners here, and that's going to bring up Cam Miller, who's had himself quite a day, single early and then that big double last time around. So watches that one a little bit high and outside from Perez. So 1-0 count. Again, a little bit high and outside. So 2-0 now. .20 count now. And that fouled over at the shortstop and going to make the play. So the Warhawks going to close the inning. Led up 2 there. So the Bulldogs take a 5-0 lead and going to look to get it going here back at the top of the 5th. So hang around and we'll be right back.
More than dream of a better world. Make it happen with a TLU degree. Texas Lutheran University provides one-on-one opportunities for students to build their college resumes. As freshmen and sophomores, our students are already performing research with a professor, presenting at conferences, and building their portfolios to apply for graduate schools and professional health programs. The world needs you. Answer your calling. TLU. Learn boldly. Live to inspire. Learn more at tlu.edu.
For the Warhawks on the team,
And welcome back, everybody. And in the box for the Warhawks is number 10, Blake Beach. 0-1. Good cut, and that is right over to Godot. That one going to get down, so Warhawks going to go ahead and find their first hit of the game. And Blake Beach, one of the Warhawks' best bats. So, like I said, McMurry, not going to go away quietly, and you're going to look to make this one a rock fight, as we like to say. Bulldogs done some scoring early, but McMurray's going to try and park the bus and, throw some haymakers. And McInvale going to go ahead and take a check, and, I like when he does that. McInvale, the pitch clock coming in a couple years ago, really changed how the game goes and, the ebbs and the flow. But McInvale, will take a check. He's never really looking to throw somebody down. But, using it to keep his arm, in good condition and, to check himself and, maybe throw off the batter. So I like, his pace on the mound. Does a great job for the Bulldogs. Up to bat is Xavier Escobar. McInvale now 1-1. And, Escobar struck out earlier. Or, excuse me, just 0 for 1. McInvale, only 2 strikeouts, but been super effective here for the Bulldogs. Little change up down the middle. That's fouled off. And I just want to give you a little reminder here at the change, instead of going to commercial like we usually do, we're going to hear from Monica. So if you would, please stick around for that. And again, into right left field there, and that's going to get down. And Josh Lee looking to stop it, but I thought the Warhawk runner was going to turn a corner there, but here come the Warhawks, quick 2 hits right there. And, now they've got some runners in scoring position. First time the Bulldogs have really sweat yet this game. And so now TLU going to have to battle back and, fight to stop the bleeding here. And, Nolan McInvale been very calm on the mound, so... And, a bit odd, to see Blake Beach and Xavier Escobar, your 8 and 9 hole guys, get it going. But they're 2 of the better Warhawk bats, so not surprised. McInvale down the middle, but that just a little bit low. It's now 1-0 count. Good cut there. That's going to be a fly ball. And McMurray going to go ahead and tag up and take one. So Blake Beach going to come in. And a little sacrifice RBI there from the Warhawks. Coach Palmer out of the dugout wants to have some words. I'm guessing maybe he thought he went a little bit early there on the tag up. It's spirited here. Fly out there. And Bulldogs not going to get early run. So the Warhawks get on the board here at the top of the 5th. Now, Coy Carpenter up into the box for the Warhawks. Nolan McInvale trying to go inside. Can't quite get it. So 1-0 now. Little fly ball over into center field, and runner took off early there, but Cam Miller gonna make the play right there. And please forgive me, it might have been Cash Durkin. Was Cash Durkin? No, it was Cam Miller. I thought so. But I kind of had my head down there for a second. But Xavier Escobar was going to go ahead and steal, and then little fly ball, and he almost got caught lacking, as we say. But he got back to the base just in time. So, quick fly out. Out number 2, and Escobar going to stay on second base there. It's now 1-0 count. And that just over Chase Bourgeois' head, and quick single there going to allow Escobar to advance to home. So the Warhawks starting to fight a little bit. That is their 3rd hit of the inning. So now the Warhawks trying to make this thing interesting. 2nd run across the plate this inning now. So your score is 5-2. TLU still ahead. But Bulldogs looking to kind of cut off the bleeding here and, stop this thing from getting any closer. Going to go ahead and take a check. In the box for the Warhawks is number 8. Oh, excuse me, number 23, Colin Brunning. Over on first, that was Riley Hood with the good pitch there from McInvale. Catches Brunning. So Brunning 0 for 2 on the day, yet to strike out. I think he had 2 fly balls, if my memory serves me correct. And McInvale going to earn the 2nd strike, so he's ahead here 0-2. But the McMurry kind of philosophy, we're seeing in display here. They've been aggressive the whole time, regardless of the score, regardless of the count. And now that they've gotten through a couple times, now they're going to look to continue and be that way. And so we're going to see why they are the way they are. That ball fouled off towards the TLU dugout. So 0-2 we will stay. And Nolan McInvale looking to close out this inning, and the Bulldogs looking to get back on offense and continue and expand that gap. Go ahead and take an outside look, maybe try and catch Riley Hood off his line a little bit there, but not quite going to get it. So 1-2 count. And that ball fouled way up. Chase Bourgeois going to look to get underneath it. And pretty routine play there from the Bulldogs. So the Bulldogs gave up 2, but, shut it down pretty quick after that. So quick shutdown. And they're going to stay in the lead at 5-2. And a quick reminder, we are about to have Monica on the sideline report. And so, Monica, I'm going to leave it with you.
Go. Okay. It's been quite a ball game today. It's pretty much anybody's game right now. But currently in the SCACT standings, McMurry is actually 4th right now, while the TLU Bulldogs are sitting closely in behind them in 5th place. In the preseason polls, though, actually, McMurray was actually supposed to be predicted to finish 6th, while the Bulldogs were predicted to finish 4th. It's still anybody's game right now. Now back to you, Chris.
And so, kind of going back off what she said, McMurray kind of surprised people here, amassing a record of 14-7, and the Bulldogs still had been yet to face them, but, beating some common opponents that we share and, taking games off some good teams. And so you never know, and, with them coming into the conference, now they're just going to have a short tenure of 2 years, but it made stuff interesting for the Bulldogs. But this one matters a whole lot here today, as it pretty much helps to decide seeding. And Chance Green going to get a little cut into that one. That's going to be right at right fielder. And so quick fly ball there. Pretty easy play. That was Josh Mueller underneath that one. So 0-1, and I guess one pitch and done there for Chance Green. So that's going to bring up the freshman Cooper Jen, 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI, the second baseman, and that one a bit outside there from Perez. Good cut from Cooper Jen. Going to look to run it through. Shortstop going to go ahead and make a play. That was number 10 there, Blake Beach. Slung that over to first base. Good cut there from Cooper Jen, but can't quite connect. So 2 down for the Warhawks pretty quick, and momentum here starting to shift a little bit towards McMurry, but the Bulldogs going to look to get back in front. Now Mason Godot, top of the lineup. Going to watch that one in, and so strike 1 there for Godot. Fly ball back, so now 0-2 here. Oh, and Mason Godot reaches for that one, so David Perez is going to have his 3rd strikeout on the day. And we'll be right back.
At Texas Lutheran University, we believe a better world is possible, and it all starts with you. For more than a century, we've been preparing students just like you to follow their dreams and embrace their potential. With small class sizes to facilitate relationship building and affordable tuition, we're committed to you. Because at TLU, you're not just a student, you're part of a community. TLU. Learn boldly, live to inspire. Learn more at tlu.edu.
Leading off for the Warhawks, number 24, Michael Swanson.
And welcome back, everybody, here to the top of the 6th. And Michael Smosna up to the bat for the Warhawks. And so McMurry trying to take the momentum here and trying to claw their way back into this one. And, not if the Bulldogs have anything to say about it. So McInvale back-to-back fastballs. That ball deep, almost on the warning track, but Mason Godot going to get underneath it and make a play there. And that was almost a solo shot there from Michael Smosna. That's going to bring up number 34, Nolan Schrinzel, for the Warhawks. Great pitch there for McInvale. Just teasing that outside line of the strike zone, but can't quite connect. And fastball right down the middle. Then it's going to even our count here at 1-1. Oh, and that is deep foul. That would have been a home run had that been straightened up. And that one caught me a bit off guard there from Nolan Schrinsel. But that's going to go ahead and make our count 1-2. So McInvale looking to pick up his strikeout. Fly ball deep into center field, and Cam Miller going to make the play. So 2 down for the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs looking to slow McMurray down. Now up for the Warhawks is number 15, Josh Mueller. Fastball down the middle for strike 1. The Bulldogs looking to close this one and get back to putting up those zeros on the McMurray side of the board. Little fly ball just drops short into center field, and that'll be another hit for the Warhawks. And this time, Josh Mueller bringing it in. That is going to make him 1-3 on the day. That is going to bring up Blake Beach. And Blake Beach is the one who got it started last time for the Warhawks. So he's 1 for 1 on the day. Now the Bulldogs looking to slow McMurray down. Beach gets over to the top of that one, fouls it right down onto the plate, and it rolls off. So 0-1. And Nolan McInvale looking to get it done here. Inside there, good spot, but Blue not going to give, so 1-1. That one a bit outside there, tried to go pretty quick. Just couldn't quite find that top corner. 2-1. Goes inside again, can't quite get it, so 3-1 count to McInvale now. That one just a bit high. McInvale doesn't quite agree with it, and I'm not sure I do. I thought that was a pretty good pitch there. We'll have a look at that one. So replay's coming up. You see maybe a bit inside, but it kind of looks like he's over the plate. You know, maybe a bit high, but I thought that was a pretty good pitch there. Bulldogs going to take a quick timeout and talk it over. And McInvale's sitting at 97 pitches right now, so they're going to talk him up and try and get him through the rest of this inning, and then probably readjust and regroup. So we'll be right back. And up to bat for the Warhawks is I believe that's number 10, Actually, that can't be. Give me just a second. I apologize. Or excuse me, that's Xavier Escobar. I was going to say Blake Beach was just out. So the 9-hole for the Warhawks. McInvale looking to shut it down here. Get the Bulldogs back to offense. So 1-0 count. Fastball, that's over at Chase Bourgeois, looking to make the play at third, and got him. And big time play there from Chase Bourgeois. And great job there from him and Braden Sprinzel. You know, and that ground ball was pretty far off his line there. Had to take quite a few steps to get it, but Bulldogs make the play and hold the Warhawks to 0 there in a dangerous inning. So we will be right back as this game goes down to the wire.
More than dream of a better world. Make it happen with a TLU degree. Texas Lutheran University provides one-on-one opportunities for students to build their college resumes. As freshmen and sophomores, our students are already performing research with a professor, presenting at conferences, and building their portfolios to apply for graduate schools and professional health programs. The world needs you. Answer your calling. TLU. Learn boldly. Live to inspire. Learn more at tlu.edu.
And welcome back. Perez going to stay on the mound for the Warhawks, and Chase Bourgeois up to bat for the Bulldogs. So the Bulldogs looking to take back the momentum here in the bottom of the 6th. And that one a bit low, so 1-1 count. And David Perez has his jersey almost all the way unbuttoned up there and putting on a show here at Cott Isbell Field. You know, it's always an interesting time. It reminds me of some major leaguers who used to do the same, you know. Those big DHs come in and huge big old gut and big chains and untucked uniform. And Chase Bourgeois reaches for that one, and he's going to get got. So 2-2 now. And Bulldogs looking to get it going again here. Fastball just on the outside there, and that is going to be David Perez's 4th strikeout here on the day. And that was tough. That was really good spot there from Perez. You know, we'll get a look at that replay there. And that was just barely on the outside of the zone. That was a really nasty pitch. That's going to bring up Cash Durkin. And, you know, as we kind of talked about earlier, Cash Durkin in the 3-4 gap there, and that's going to be a quick single. But, you know, as I talked about earlier, you know, we see, you know, no offense to Jonathan Enriquez, but, you know, that 5.4 earned run allowed versus, you know, Perez's 1.42, you know. Going to see a little bit of a difference on the mound, and, you know, Perez much more of a McMurray ace. So, anyhow, Coach Palmer having some more words with this umpire. You know, they have not been getting along. Lots of body language there, shaking and talking with the hands, and the umpire doesn't seem to really be having any of what Coach is saying over there. Regardless, though, Peavey is going to come up to the plate. We'll see some of his Peavey power. 1 for 3 on the day. But, you know, Adam Peavey can absolutely crush the ball. So, going to eat a fastball on the outside of the zone there for strike 1. A little bit high there. Watch it. Always do that. So 1-1 now. Little bit low, but umpire going to go ahead and give a strike there. That was, in my opinion, a little bit low, but anyhow, 1-2 now to Peavey. He's going to get a good piece of that one over the head and over the wall. And Adam Peavey with a 2-run home run. And that is going to balloon the Bulldogs' lead to 7 now, or to 5, 7-2. And sound the horns, round the bases, swarm the plate. Adam Peavey home run. And a little slam dunk celebration. And that is a big momentum changer right there for the Bulldogs. And Peavey goes yard off Perez. So the Bulldogs now leading 7-2. And Drew Burnett coming up to the plate. 0 for 3 on the day. And, you know, Drew's looking to get it going right here. Bit outside there. 1-0 count now. Drew Burnett gets a piece of that one, fouls it way up over into left field, and they're going to go ahead and take care of that one. So fly out for Drew Burnett. And coming back up to the plate now, Braden Sprinsel. Quick fly out there from Drew Burnett. Perez looking to go outside. And I've just received word, Monica going to have some more words for us at the end of this inning, so don't go anywhere. Braden Sprinsel line drive right at the second baseman. We've seen him kind of hit that gap already today, but tough break there. And so Bulldogs add 2, extend the lead now back to 5, so 7-2 with the 2-run shot there from Adam Peavey. And Monica, take it away. Oh, excuse me, never mind. I guess she's still setting up. I'm not quite sure. And, you know, again, Bulldogs here have to find a way to get a stop and, you know, hold McMurray again. You know, in the top of the 5th, found a way to put up those 2 runs. So Bulldogs going to look to do it. And so now, if Monica's ready, we will go ahead and shift over to her.
Wow, what a great run by Adam Peavey, really kind of changing the swing of the game and the momentum. If you actually didn't know, every single time they score a home run or a big play, actually the guys all get together and do the thing that they called like a dunk. It's a really great time, really great energy by the crowd, and we can't wait to see how the Bulldogs are going to keep on going, keep on with the rest of this game. Now back to you, Nick.
So thank you, Monica, again for your insight. A little bit of Fetty Wap playing here, and you know the Bulldogs looking to shut this thing down, but gonna have to stove off the hot batting from McMurray. So Murray turning the lineup over. Up to bat is Coy Carpenter. Little ground ball over to Braden Spritzel. Going to go ahead and make the play. So first pitch swinging, and the Bulldogs make the play. So quick out there. Nolan McInville working right now. Little change up there, a bit high. It's 1-0 now. Ty Nelson back up to bat for McMurray. 0 for 2 on the day with 1 strikeout. Nolan McInville trying to go for the outside again. Can't quite get it. Two-0 count now. And Bulldogs going to make the play. So Chase Bourgeois over to Micah Peavey. That one's going to be out number 2. And outside of the zone, McInville continuing to hum here. Looking for that outside of the zone again, 1-1. And Bourgeois trying to take care of it. Tough throw. Peavey reaching, and the Bulldogs get it. And a little bobble from Bourgeois, but not going to matter as Micah Peavey extends and makes a big play for the Bulldogs. So the Bulldogs quickly hold McMurray to 0, and we will be right back. And welcome back, everybody, to the bottom of the 7th. Little bit of Peso Pluma. And Cam Miller looking to get it going here. He's had quite a day, 2 for 3. And outside strike for strike number 1. And that one going to be a little bit off the mark, so ball 1. Tied up here, a 1-1 count. And David Perez looking to get it back. Cam Miller taking a check swing. And you go ahead and say that is strike 2 right there. So 1-2 count. Now Cam Miller looking to find a way to get on board here. Fouls that off the, looked like the bottom of the bat there towards his hands. That was a little bit odd there. So 1-2. 2-2 now. Please forgive me. Bulldogs fighting here. Oh, an outside of the zone strikeout for Perez. Tough go for Cam Miller, but we've seen Perez hit that spot quite a few times today, and it's felt as this game's gone on. Strike zone's got a little bit bigger and bigger from the blue behind the plate, but I digress. Now Chance Green coming up to the plate for the Bulldogs. He struck out last time looking at it. And outside of the zone again, so the Bulldogs going to have to protect that outside corner. Perez really starting to find some success hitting it. Now Chance Green looking to get on board. That one low. In that same spot, though. Same kind of bottom right corner outside of that strike zone there. So 1-1 now. Chance Green watching it that time a little bit too far outside, so 2-1. Fastball down the middle, that's fouled. Not fouled, but played pretty deep, but underneath it is Coy Carpenter to make the play for the Warhawks. Deep fly out there from Chance Green. Now Cooper Ginn going to come up to the plate for the Bulldogs, looking to turn the lineup over here. Outside. So 1-0 count now to Ginn. Cooper Ginn 1 for 3 on the day, had a big RBI earlier. So looking to get it going here for the Bulldogs. The bottom of the 7th. 2-0 now. Outside again, so now 3-0. Cooper Ginn trying to find a way to get on. And that one right down the middle, fouled way up, and Warhawks shortstop going to go ahead and make the play. So quick 3 down for the Warhawks, and Bulldogs will take the field. So we will be with you and have the top of the 8th. And this one's coming down to the wire, so stay with us, folks.
University, we believe a better world is possible, and it all starts with you. For more than a century, we've been preparing students just like you to follow their dreams and embrace their potential. With small class sizes to facilitate relationship building and affordable tuition, we're committed to you. Because at TLU, you're not just a student, you're part of a community. TLU. Learn boldly, live to inspire. Learn more at tlu.edu.
Yes, sir. DJ Lewis, and watching TLU Plus, and we got it. Let's get it.
You're watching TLU Plus.
And welcome back, everyone. That is Colin Brunning up to bat for the Warhawks. So Nolan McInvale still hanging in there on the mound, and he's going to look to go the distance today for TLU. Fastball down the middle. That's fouled off. 0-2 now. And a deep fly ball over into the left field. Godot can't quite get to it in the air, so another single there for the Warhawks. So the Warhawks looking to get it going here. And that one roped. That one stays in, bounces into the warning track there. And McMurry going to turn the corner, and so they'll have a score. That is Colin Brunning coming across the plate off the double there from Michael Smosna. And, Smosna was 0 for 3 on the day, statistically, batting a whopping 4.59. 0.459. He was due for a hit. So McMurray gets one back to make it 7-3 TLU. Now runner on second. Nice pitch there from McInvale. So 1-1 now, 0-1. McInvale down the middle. That one deep into right field. And that was Cash Durkin underneath that one. I thought maybe there for a second Michael Smosna was going to try and touch up and go to third, but good throw kind of stopped him in his tracks. So that is going to bring up Josh Mueller. That's that same outside corner as Perez, and so McInvale going to find strike one right there. Fastball down the middle, and that's right in the gap. Warhawks looking to turn the corner. And Michael Smosna going to come across the plate for the RBI. Going to Mueller. So now McMurray trying to make things interesting here. That run going to make it 7-4 now. McInvale's pitch count starting to climb up there. He's sitting at 114 right now. And Palmer going to go up there and have a word. McInvale had himself quite a day, but that pitch count is starting to get up there. And McMurray so far just unwavering and unwilling to go away. But that is going to do it here for McInvale. Good game today. Threw 2 strikeouts and only 4 runs earned, but doing a good job. And so Bulldogs going to make a change, and we will be right back.
More than dream of a better world. Make it happen with a TLU degree. Texas Lutheran University provides one-on-one opportunities for students to build their college resumes. As freshmen and sophomores, our students are already performing research with a professor, presenting at conferences, and building their portfolios to apply for graduate schools and professional health programs. The world needs you. Answer your calling. TLU. Learn boldly, live to inspire. Learn more at tlu.edu.
And welcome back. So, Bulldogs making some changes. Third baseman Braden Sprintzel coming onto the mound here to close for the Bulldogs. A good pitch to make it 1-1. So McInvale's day cut short, and Matthew Elizondo Jr. from Eagle Pass coming in to play third base. And, you know, going back to that Southwestern series, it was Matthew Elizondo that had that big single, and that ball just barely foul. Peavey almost got to it, but Elizondo had a huge single to kind of walk it off against Southwestern, I believe in game 1 or 2. You know, I'd have to go back and look, and hopefully a certain broadcast director that will remain nameless sitting next to me can help me out with that one. Anyhow, 1-2 now. Little cut. Good. So 1-2 now. Braden Sprintzel looking for his first strikeout of the day. But, you know, Blake Beach, one looking to shut it down. Bulldogs going to look and take a look, but Chance Green can't quite make the throw. And, you know, Blake Beach had that huge hit earlier. So looking back, that was game 2. Matthew Elizondo had that huge hit. You know, I hadn't played that much on the year, but huge and been big in those moments. And fly ball, that's out into center field. Cam Miller underneath it. And Josh Mueller had taken all the way off to second base, but he goes back. And so that is out number 2 now. So now 2 down for the Bulldogs. McInvale had earned that first while he was still up, and that ball shot deep into left field, and Mason Goodell going to make the play. So the Bulldogs, you know, shut down McMurray's run right there, and Xavier Escobar can't connect. So now, going into the bottom of the 8th here, Bulldogs looking to get back on top and stay there. I guess they're already on top, but looking to pile it on. So don't go anywhere as this one comes down to the wire, so stay with us.
Lead off for the Bulldogs. Number 10, Mason Cadeau.
And welcome back here to the bottom of the 8th. And Mason Godot, Bulldogs, top of the lineup. And Godot going to look to bunt. Had a successful one early, but can't quite keep that one fair. So strike one now. Good cut. That one skies up into center field, and fairly routine play there. So we'll fly out there from Mason Godot. Now Chase Bourgeois looking to keep things going for the Bulldogs. Good cut, but that's going to be foul back for strike one. Chase Bourgeois, little line drive, but it's going to be foul. So 0-2 now. And fastball, and Bourgeois going to go down striking. So 2 down now. That's bringing up Cash Durkin. Great effort there from Bourgeois, but the pace of Perez just a little bit too much to handle right there. Now Cash Durkin back up, 2 for 3 on the day with an RBI, and had himself a good day so far. Looking to keep things going here. That ball a little bit low, so he's going to be ahead 1-0 here. And a little chopped ground ball over towards second, and another error from the Warhawks. Can't quite field that one, so hit there for Cash Durkin. Now 3 for 4 on the day, having himself a good day. Bulldogs looking to get it going, and so now Adam Peavey back up. Peavey, in case you missed it, hit that huge 2-home run in the bottom of the 6th, so say his name and look for some Peavey power here. Reminder that 2 are out. Good swing on that one. That's deep into center field, but not quite enough juice, and so that'll do it there. Good cut there from Peavey. So, going to change here going into the top of the 9th. Bulldogs still hanging on to the lead now, 7-4, but the Warhawks going to look to make this one interesting down the stretch. Bulldogs got to find a way to turn 3 really quick here, so stay with us.
As an MAT student, you are an athletic trainer, and I think that's something really cool that we get to experience.
We're pretty hands-on. Anything that like our preceptor asks us to do, like we're able to do. Going out to practices and traveling to games.
We're doing evals, looking at them, helping them with their rehab like protocols.
For me personally, I do a lot of like hands-on where I'm like speaking with the patients about how they feel, and so I feel like it's a lot of like one-on-one interactions.
Knowing that I'm going to go into the clinic every day and I don't know who's going to walk through the door and what their problem's going to be, and that I get to be the one that tells them like, hey, this is what's wrong, but I can also help you, so here's a solution.
for the Warhawks, number 2, Corey Carpenter.
And welcome back, everybody. Top of the ninth here. Bulldogs looking to close, and Braden Sprinzel fastball. So, strike one. And the Bulldogs just 3 away from taking this first game. A little chopped. It's over to Cooper Ginn. Lots of time to make the play, and the Bulldogs find out number 1. So, Bulldogs, fighting. And, every game matters. We talk about that every time we're in this booth, how much every game matters and how important it is. But, today, especially in this series, Bulldogs got to leave it all out here and, fight for that last spot. Obviously lots of time, but if the Bulldogs can find a way to pick up 2 wins here and win this series and potentially even 3, that would be huge for their chances as they round in towards the end of SCAC play. So, Sprinzel fastball, 1-1. And that one fouled off. Another fastball from Braden Sprinzel. And foul tip. Bulldogs going to go ahead and make the play. That ball got by on the swing, and thought maybe the bat might have got Chance Green's glove, but what could have been a quite chaotic play handled pretty calmly by the Bulldogs, and Chance Green making a good throw over to Peavey. So 2 down now. Bulldogs looking to close here. A little change up there from Sprinzel, and strike 1. I guess it had some curve on it, but nasty pitch there. So now 1 strike, no ball, and that one runs inside, almost hits Riley Hood there, but doesn't quite. So 1-1. Sprints on the outside of the zone right there at the edge, and find another strike. So now 1-2, 2 down. Bulldogs just 1 strike away from putting this one to bed. Sprinzel right down the middle, foul tip back. One little bit inside, so now 2-2. And strike 3 swinging. All the time in the world to make a play. A little bit scuffed there from the last 2 outs, but Bulldogs find a way to get it done in game 1. So the Bulldogs going to take a win here, 7-4. And what a great effort here from the Bulldogs. Really dominant early. And, McMurray trying to make a run, trying to make it ugly, trying to get back into it. And they do their best to come back, amassing 7 hits in the last half of the game. But the Bulldogs pouring in 12 hits and 7 runs, and pretty efficient day across the board. I think it could be highlighted by Cash Durkin and Adam Peavey. Just really great display on the plate, and great 8 innings from McInville. So Bulldogs earned a tough one here in game 1. Take a look more at the numbers, across the game. Bulldogs scoring 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and then 2 in the sixth, and then that added up to their 7. And so the Warhawks, didn't get it going really until the 5th, but then they scored 2 in the 5th, and then 2 in the 8th, to give them their 4. So it really tried to make it interesting. And looking across the board, I was quite impressed with the numbers from McMurry, but, McInville really did a great job. Many of them struggled at the plate. Carpenter 0 for 4, Nelson 0 for 4. Their DH going 0 for 3, be a little bit highlighted by Mueller, and, Beach did a good job. But, across the board, they struggled quite a bit. And, looking at some of the team comparisons, with 2 outs, the Bulldogs 1 for 9, McMurry 2 for 11. With runners on, though, Bulldogs 9 of 20 compared to the Warhawks 4 of 15. Looking at the pitching, too, pretty even. Bulldogs throwing a little bit more pitches there in the last inning, but, 47 balls to 87 strikes, and McMurray 46 balls to 73 strikes. And Bulldogs actually faced less batters, did a good job. And so, great effort here today across the board. And so, the important thing to know now, looking ahead at the schedule, is Bulldogs have McMurray again twice tomorrow. And so, pretty stiff game. Little fun fact. So, coming back here at 1, Bulldogs versus McMurray. So, big day for them. And then they'll face off again at 4. So, an important 2-day, and it'll actually be senior day for the Bulldogs. So, it'll be the last time we'll get to see them at home. And, looking across broader TLU sports, tennis is taking on the University of Dallas tomorrow at home at 1 o'clock. Softball playing on Schreiner at 1 and 3. So, busy day here. And, moral of the story, Bulldogs doing a great job and find a way to take game 1 of probably the most important series of the season. So, with all that being said, we have some more sideline reporting from Monica, and she's down there, so we will take it over to her.
I'm here with Cash and Adam. And so, Adam, you scored the big home run today that really helped kind of push the momentum of the game. How was that feeling once seeing that go over the fence?
I mean, it was a great hit. Pitcher left the fastball middle away. I took advantage of it. Home runs are fun. They're really cool. I have really nothing else to say besides that. It was just a great hit.
Yeah, and for you, Cash, you went 3 and 4 today when it came to hitting. So, that's a very mental thing. Hitting a ball is not easy. So, how with that do you kind of mentally go through that?
I would say just have a lot of confidence up at the plate, and trying to just get the bat to the next guy. Keep the at bats rolling, the team, and that's really what I focus on.
And for either one of you guys, what's kind of the mindset into going in this game? This is a very important series for your guys' conference tournament play. So what's kind of your guys' mindset going into this doubleheader tomorrow?
Just, flushing this game. We have 2 more games tomorrow. Just focus on, just next at bat, next pitch by pitch, and, just pass the baton, take advantage of what's given to you and just give it to God.
Anything for you?
I just say, just keep the energy up going into the next 2 games tomorrow, and I think it'll be fun.
Okay, thank you guys. Good luck tomorrow, and back to you, Chris.
Thank you, Monica, for doing such a great job reporting on the sideline today. And Bulldogs find a way to win such an important one. And wise words there from Cash and Adam. About getting it done and taking care of business and coming back and doing the same thing tomorrow. So Bulldogs win game 1 here 7-4, but looking to find 2 more again tomorrow. And for those of you who have joined us today, thank you, and tune back in again tomorrow.